Hi, welcome to Moonbeam's Messages. This is a collective reading for Aquarius. This is a love reading for your current situation, for your current love situation, for your current person, I should say. Now, if you're not interested in your current person, there has been a past one already published this week. There will be a future person reading published later on in the week or at the weekend. Right, let's get into your reading. If you like your reading today, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. It will help pass the message on to anybody else that needs to hear it. If you haven't subscribed already, if you hit that subscribe and then press the notification bell, it will let you know whenever I publish new content. As always, this is a collective reading, so anything that doesn't resonate, do not force it to. Only take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And if you don't find any messages in it for yourself, please check your other placements and you may find a message there. So let's get you your cards. So Spirit, can we get some cards for the current person in Aquarius's life, please? Wait, some cards, please, Spirit. Thank you. Thank you. No, one more, please. Okay, so your overall energy, we have this Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands then is suggesting to me that potentially some sort of passion may have waned a little bit. There could have been a little bit of disloyalty for yourself in the past as well. Now the Page of Wands is somebody that can be very skillful, wants to come along with a gift. In these circumstances, you kind of offset a little bit with it being in the reverse, and it's like you're not sure whether you want to or not. He's lacking a little bit of integrity. He doesn't know what he wants at the moment when it's in the reverse. So that's potentially what your energy is at the minute. You might be a little bit wibbly wobbly on what you want, and you've not quite got a passionate drive pushing you forward. Now, in your person's energy, we have the Hanged Man in the reverse. Now, that's telling me that your person is potentially being a bit selfish at the moment. They could also be extremely stuck in their views and they are not willing to accept anybody else's point of view. So let's get some clarification on that for you. Now, when I say that's your person, it could also be your energy. These first two cards can be reversed. The second one is supposed to be yourself, but you can swap them round. So take whichever one resonates for you. Right, can we get some clarification on the Hangman, please, Spirit? Okay. So the first card that come out was the Queen of Wands. Now, the Queen of Wands, when it's in the reverse, is somebody who's very vain, can also be a little bit lacking in the self-esteem department. Now, that suggests to me that your person could be being a bit vain and potentially be they've got low self-esteem, which is what's making them quite vain. It can also make them a little bit jealous of people as well. So could potentially lead to a few issues with that. We do have the Eight of Swords as well, so they are feeling very stuck in their own head, potentially overthinking quite a lot, possibly with regards to them being so vain and being so lacking self-esteem. We do have the Lovers card though in the upright, so they are looking at you as being a good choice. They are thinking that you are the person that they want to be with. They look at this as being a very happy union for them. So even though they're a bit vain and selfish and they're in their head about it, they are looking at you as being the person they want to be stuck with. Now, in your position, we've got this Five of Wands. So you are facing a lot of conflict at the moment, potentially. It could be very much that you need to break down some barriers as well, whether that's with yourself, whether that's with your person. But it is telling me that you are in some conflict and you do need to make your way out of it. But it's going to be a bit of a battle to get through. On that particular card, we've got a man with a sledgehammer facing a brick door. So, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a hard one for you to push through that conflict, or at least that's what it's feeling like for you at the moment. Let's get 2 more cards, please, Spirit, for that Five of Wands. That is not 2 cards. And take the Chariot, though, because it came out in the upright. Let's get 1 more card, thank you. Okay, so you got the Judgment in the reverse. So that's telling me that you are aware of something, but you don't want to face the truth of it. So something has come to light, or you're very aware of something that's going on, but you're not facing it. You're pushing it to the back. You don't want to see it. So whether it's red flags that are glaring you in the face, or whether it's just some sort of truth that you are aware of, but you don't want to face it. This is suggesting that you've got something that you're not actually wanting to face at this point in time. The Chariot is telling me that you do want to move forward and have success with this. You do want to have a very much unified, I'm trying to think of the word for it. You want to be unified within yourself. You want this, your body, soul, mind, heart, whatever. You want everything to be going in one direction. You're very happy. You want success. You want to have that successful movement forward. Now, we have this Two of Swords in the reverse, which is telling me you do have a decision to make, and that potentially that decision is going to be made regardless of anybody else. So it's a very selfish decision that you're making. Now, that could have something to do with your person and the Hanged Man. Maybe you're making it because of somebody else's selfishness. It could be that you are putting yourself first for a change if your person's always very selfish. I'm not 100% sure on that. That's something you would obviously need to work out. But whatever it is, you're making a decision that's in the best interest for yourself, and you're not considering anybody else with regards to that, which does mean that you're not letting anybody else influence what your decision is. So even if you don't know the right way or the wrong way, you might be blind on, all of the information, you're still going to make the decision based on yourself. So, anybody that might try and influence that decision, whether it's friends, family, your partner, you're not having it. You're making that decision purely for yourself. So it's a very selfish decision, because you're not taking into consideration anybody else's thoughts or feelings or anything else. It is purely for yourself, but sometimes that needs to be done. Now, how you see in this relationship at the moment, you are seeing it as a bit of a burden, and you feel like you've been stabbed in the back for some reason. You are seeing it as being something where you've been betrayed, and you are looking at this particular cycle to end. So the Ten of Swords is the ending of something. So you're ready to get up and walk away from some sort of betrayal within this relationship. I'm assuming that is what this Judgment in the reverse is, that you haven't faced yet, and potentially what your very selfish decision is to move away from something where you've been hurt. Possibly your person, with them being the Queen of Wands in the reverse, may have been, maybe it's too much, maybe something needs to change. So we've got a Death card that's come out then to clarify that 10, which is good, because it does mean that something is coming to an end, which you're aware of. You want it to end. It does also indicate a transition into something starting. And there we've got that Ace of Pentacles, a new abundant start. So this is still what you're feeling about this relationship. So you're feeling it can start. And there's that 10 of Wands, putting down that heavy burden, ready to share the burden, share the loads. So whatever it is that you're making a decision on, you're ready to share it with your person. So your person may be, it could very well be the Queen of Wands that they're looking at, or whoever this vain person is. Could be somebody in their energy potentially, or it could just be very much that you were deciding that you were going to start sharing with them, and you're in some sort of place at the moment where you were ready to release a burden, something that you've been carrying potentially with this Judgment card. You're ready to put it down. You're ready to have that transition into something new and start an abundant new beginning. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to leave this person and start something new on your own. That could just mean that you could be, maybe you want to start something new with them. So maybe you want to go into business with them, with it being the Pentacles. It's a very stable kind of thing. It could even be that you want to move into a new home. The Chariot is very much a movement card. So it is very much, you could be wanting to move house. And this could be that you want to start that new transition. You could find maybe if you're living apart being really burdensome, and you might feel a bit betrayed because it's taking so long to move in together. Or, you know, I mean, I've known people that have been in relationships for years and their partner won't move into them because they're so much of a mummy's boy, and that really hurt them. Or, you know, daddy's little girl kind of thing. And so they stay with their parents because they want to be babied, which is a bit of a betrayal. So you could be going through something like that, but you want this new start. You want to release whatever that burden is, and you want to move forward, which is great. You want to have that abundant new beginning and a fantastic transition into something. And when you transition with that Death card, it's always into something better. So, yeah, absolutely fantastic. Now, in your challenge position, we do have a 3 of Wands. So having patience to wait something out is going to be a bit of a challenge for you. So we've got that Hangman in the reverse again. So oh no, it's in the upright, sorry. So potentially having to look at something from a different point of view. Again, feeling a bit stuck. So with that patience, feeling stuck as well. We've got the 8 of Cups. So something that you need to walk away from some sort of situation, something that's not serving you, and move forward. And that could be quite challenging to do. I'm assuming it's to do with this Death card, whatever the transition is, whatever the burden is that's being put down. You need to walk away from it. You need to, you know, move forward. But it's going to be a bit of a challenge because you've got this stuck energy where you need to have some patience. We do also have the World card in the reverse, which is the ending of a cycle. But it's a very slow ending of a cycle because it's not quite ended just yet. And I think that's because you've got to have this patience and you've got to wait something out. It's not quite time to end it just yet. You do need to have that bit of patience before you get to that end of that cycle. And the World card as well can indicate a move as well. So again, more movement energy. So potentially moving into a new property, like I say. But it could just take some time because let's face it, going for a new house, you've got to find the property of your dreams to start with. Then you've got to go through mortgage procedures. If you're going to have a mortgage, you might have to go through a big chain. It could be a number of different things that you have to do. And it could just mean that it's going to take some time. You might also not have your deposit yet. So then obviously you've got to do all your saving. And it's just going to take you that little bit of time to get there. So you just need to make sure that you're having enough patience. But you make sure that you're planning and you're taking your steps that you need to in order to get there. Do look at it from another perspective as well. Yes, it might be something where it's dragging on and it might feel like it's never getting there. But if you put your proper plans in place and you look at everything you've achieved to get there and everything else that you need to do, then you'll realise actually you're making more progress than you feel you are. You know, it's just that it is a generally long process. Unless you win the lottery and you find a house that is ready for sale and there's no chains or anything like that, I mean, you still got to wait for the paperwork and you've got to wait for the keys and whatever else. But unless you've got the money to buy a house outright with no trail, that's the quickest way you can get one generally. So if that's something that you're wanting to do, by all means, you could even go into living in a caravan or a mobile home. You've still got to buy it and have the paperwork and everything else. So, there's lots of different things that you can do, but there's generally a few hoops that you have to jump through as well. So just try and have the patience and make sure that you're aware of how far you're going and how far you've come. When you do sit there and when you feel like nothing's moving, just think of how far you've come so far. Where were you, this time last year, kind of thing? What movements happened for you? Now, once you've managed to navigate all of this patience, we do have the Ace of Swords in the reverse, which is suggesting me that you may not be telling yourself the truth about something. You might be concealing some sort of truth. It's also suggesting that you haven't cut something out that you may need to cut out of your life, possibly some sort of behaviour or thought pattern. Let's get clarification. Okay, so we've got a Two of Cups in the reverse. So possibly arguments or disagreements with your person, an unhappy union maybe. So maybe you are not seeing things for quite what they are, or you're convincing yourself things are not as happy as they could be. We do have a Fool that's just come out in a challenge position. So maybe this new start is something that you don't know if you want. You're worried on whether or not to have that move forward or not. And we've also got an Ace of Cups coming out to the side, which is again suggesting that you're unsure of whether or not to take this leap forward and have a new start. It could very well be that you could feel tempted about something. Maybe your decision over here is to end your relationship and move forward into something new, but then at the end you're having the disagreements with your person. I mean, here it's like you're feeling, you're patient, you're trying to move forward, the cycle hasn't ended, and then it's like you unsure whether or not you want to move forward as the outcome. So to me, there's two ways of reading this. It's looking like, to me, I think this is more of referring to you moving house. So you could end up having a few disagreements over certain things, especially if your person's a bit vain and you're a little bit selfish potentially. I'm not saying you are selfish. I'm just picking up selfishness because of the selfish decision. That doesn't mean you're selfish, okay? It could just, it's just something I've just picked up. You could be selfish. Who knows? You obviously will know. But yeah, with your person might be very vain, and it could be causing some sort of money issues potentially, which could then cause you a few issues and make you feel like, do you want to move forward with them? Do you not want to move forward with them into this new start? Yeah, it could be any number of things, but it is indicating some sort of disagreement. But like I say, it is something that you are hiding from yourself as well. So maybe there's a disagreement that you haven't even spotted and you're keeping it from yourself. You're hiding the truth behind it. And I think that truth is, do you want this or not? Because these are challenges, these are decisions that you've got to make of, do you want this new start? Do you not want this new start? You've got a potential happy union that is in a little bit of a disruption. Usually when we see the Lovers and the Two of Cups, it's usually some sort of happy union. A lot of the time you tend to get these, and people will say twin flames. It could be some sort of soulmate connection potentially there, but it is suggesting that, there could be a little bit of a disagreement that could be happening at the end, possibly with regards to location or something like that. Who knows? What the decision could be that you could be selfishly making is to move yourself. Maybe you're taking up a job somewhere and you are selfishly, not necessarily selfishly, but maybe you've decided that you want a new job. You've been offered a position and it's going to take you a couple of 100 miles away from where you are. So your decision is to take that job because it's better money, it's a better opportunity for progression. You can see yourself going far with it. You then move, you have that new transition, you move away, it's more abundant, it's actually quite good for you spiritually. You have that kind of transition going on for you. You may have been betrayed at an old job potentially. Your person, on the other hand, may see this as the betrayal, that making that decision to move away is a big betrayal of them, but you're ready to put down that burden. Your person's at home waiting for you to come home sometimes. Maybe, it feels like you might then have to walk away from a certain situation, and here it could be very much of, you're in this very unhappy place. You don't know whether to move on from it or whether to release it and start something new, or whether you've made the right choice with the new start that you've had. You know, it could be any number of things. So it could, you know, take it as it resonates. It is definitely going to be something along those lines for some of you. Yeah, let's get you the energies then that have come out here. So we have Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, Gemini, Cancer, Scorpio, got any more? Nope. And then, nope, that's it. So it could be any of those energies that you're working with or that you're partnered with. It doesn't have to be any of those energies. If the reading resonated for you, then it is also for you. Right, let's get you a few romance angel cards to see if there's any more messages that Spirit want to say. Okay, so playfulness to recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. And let go of control issues. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. At the bottom of the deck, we do also have wedding. This situation involves marriage. So potentially your person may even want to propose to you, and you're thinking, yeah, you want this new happy start, but then when the wedding comes, or once you've decided to, you know, plan everything out and make the moves towards your wedding, you might get cold feet and go, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Fingers crossed for you, that isn't what happens. And I'd like to hope that if you get cold feet on your wedding day, that you break through that and jump in with both feet, because you clearly made that decision to marry them at the beginning, and you've put a lot of time and thought into that, and cold feet are literally that, cold feet. Okay, right, well, I hope some of you Aquariuses enjoyed your reading today. If you did enjoy your reading, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and help pass the message on to anybody else that needs to hear it. Good luck, and thank you for joining me.